out of the classroom today. Alright, so today we're going to talk about fruits and their categories. And basically what you're going to get out of this unit in general is we're going to talk all about inspecting and pretty much finding out the quality of fruit. But first things first, you guys have to know what type of fruit you're going to be learning. So today we're only going to be covering all the different categories, all 8 of them in general. And I just want to start off by talking a little bit about apples and oranges. They use this expression a lot to say that things aren't very common with each other. So I kind of just want to hear a couple of observations maybe about the apple and the orange. If you want to pass them around, feel free. And just raise your hand and tell me some of your observation about them. What are some of the differences? Yes, Jason?
One is orange.
One is orange. Okay, so color.
Nothing rhymes with orange.
Okay? Yep.
Texture.
Texture? What do you mean by texture?
That's a good one. Well, there's 2 different types. Like an apple, the outside is smooth, and an orange, normally the outside is rough or bumpy. But it also includes the inside of the product.
So we'll say, can I say leathery? Would you say it's kind of like a leathery texture? Okay. Smooth. Well, for the apple, you'll say smooth, and the orange, what would you say? You said bumpy?
Yeah.
Bumpy. Okay. And you were talking a little bit about the inside texture. What do you mean by that?
Typically an orange is always segments with an outside like firm skin, and then the inside is kind of mushy.
Mushy, alright. And what about for the apple?
Apple ranges depending on the different types of apple, but normally they're crisp to slightly softer, but they still kind of have a crisp aspect to them.
Okay, alright. Yeah, Lauren?
Apple skin is edible and orange is orange.
Oh, that's a good one.
Unless you candy so you can have that one.
Now, Frank, I heard you talking out of turn, and you were saying that it wasn't edible. Why do you say it's not edible?
Because there's a cooking technique to make it edible.
So you're saying that the skins maybe has like more of a flavoring aspect, not really. You don't eat the skins typically to use it to flavor.
Yeah.
So like a flavorful skin maybe for the orange and not so much for the apple? Okay. Alright, so an apple and an orange, they're both fruits. Thank you all for your volunteers, but I'll get back to it, I promise.
Sorry.
So an apple and an orange, they're still fruits, but look at how different they are. So that's kind of what we're going to talk about, the differences between the categories and how you can tell, just by looking at it, what it is.
Okay.
Alright, so today we're all going to be on a mission, and you're going to actually be working for Fresh Foods Incorporated. And what you're going to do is, first you all are going to get briefed on the different types of fruit, because I'm going to give you all a mission later, and you have to know the information to be able to successfully complete your mission. So now this is all very confidential information. You have to kind of pass through your briefing to make sure you can get to the mission. So make sure you don't tell anyone once you leave here, alright? So here, if you can pass them in the back, please. And then I think that should... Don't keep them, please. Alright. And I've given you a few different characteristics to think about. I'm just going to go through them all and take as many notes as you can, and trust me when I say that you will need them on your mission, okay? Alright, why is this so important? It's important because as future chefs, you guys are going to need to know your product. Eventually we're going to learn how to tell a quality from a not so great product. But right now you just need to know what it is. And this is what this is going to kind of teach you, is kind of how to know what characteristics to look for. And not just power. If you know something that makes one type of fruit really, really great, maybe we can use that and manipulate it to make something else really, really great. And we'll talk about that later on. So citrus. Alright, this skin, like I heard, I think it was Frank say about it being inedible. You really don't want to eat it. It's thick, it's firm, and it's leathery. But you can get a lot of flavor from it. The flesh is going to be segmented, soft, and acidic. Okay? The acidic's a really key piece because we use this a lot in different dishes for that acid piece. How it grows on trees and small bushes, the different types of citrus. The seeds, they contain a few amount of seeds. Now they're starting to create citrus with no seeds, but in its more natural form, they do have seeds, and they're about orzo size. So have you ever thing you can throw in there is they're very, very fragrant. So you can kind of scratch an orange, and if you don't know what it is scratching, if you get a really strong smell, that's one sign that it is an orange, or a citrus, I'm sorry. Alright, next we have melons. So melons, the skin is a little different. With melons, they can come in different forms, so we can have a netted with the cantaloupe, or smooth with the watermelon or the honeydew. Again, you don't really want to eat the skin on this one, so it's really, we call it edible. And the color can go anywhere from like a cream to a jade green, so this is a very beautiful fruit. The flesh is going to be very firm. And does anyone know why the flesh is so firm with this fruit? Anyone make any guesses? Sure, all the way back, Jason.
Some of them grow on the ground.
They go on the ground, and when they're in the ground, they grow. Do you know what they grow on by any chance? Can you answer that question for us? Vines. Yep, they grow on the vines. And I'm actually going to pass around a couple of these fruits so you can see them. So I have the citrus. I'm going to pass that around. And I have a melon. And you said they grow on the ground. That's kind of a good point that I wanted to bring up. Almost all melons are always going to have kind of like a dark spot or some sort of like an ugly spot, birthmark, I guess you could say. But those aren't always ugly, so never mind, I take that back. And that's where it's actually touching the ground. They're so firm because it's actually 90% water. So that was kind of interesting. They're always heavy for their size. When you see a melon, it's going to be very, very heavy because it is 90% water. And the seeds are always going to collect right in the middle of it. If you cut that in half, you can see there's a large cluster of seeds all in the middle. Next, we have berries. So from a biological standpoint, berries can get kind of complicated. But just from a culinary use, we're going to think of berries as a small fruit that has a lot of seeds to it. Alright? The skin is edible in this one, so you can eat it whole. And I'm going to pass around some blackberries for you to look at. Okay? The flesh is going to be plump and juicy. And they're going to grow on different bushes, hedges, shrubs. And like I said, the seeds are actually edible, so you can eat them. A lot of people like to strain them out for texture reasons, but it's okay if you actually want to eat them. Next, we have drupes. So with drupes, again, this skin is edible again. It's typically soft and shiny unless it's hairy, like we have for peaches. So that's kind of a cool characteristic about these. They can kind of have hair on them. Well, not really hair, but it feels like it. The flesh is going to be soft and can bruise very easily. So you're going to want to take care when you're handling peach or any drupes that they can bruise very easily. And these grow on trees and shrubs. Now we talked about another fruit growing on trees and shrubs. Did anyone remember that? Did you guys take those notes? Yeah.
Berries?
Berries grow on the shrubs, but do they grow on trees?
Citrus.
No,
Not
not
necessarily,
really.
so you're close. Citrus, thank you, Frank. Yeah, but the citrus also can grow on trees or shrubs. And the seeds are what's important with these. They're called a pit or a stone. Why do you think they call it a stone? Anyone with the knowledge?
They're hard.
Because it's hard, like a stone, you can break your teeth, so we really don't want to eat these. Whenever we're handling these, you want to eat the flesh around it, the soft flesh. Okay? I'm going to pass this around. You can. Just be careful, remember, they're soft and they can break. So next we have the pomes. And pomes of the skin, or we talked about earlier when we were doing our apple and orange example, is it's smooth. The skin is very smooth. It can come in a variety of colors, and it is edible. A lot of the nutrients are actually found in the skin, so that's a good piece to try and eat if you are going to eat it. The flesh is going to be very firm. Excuse me. And with the flesh, there's going to be a center core. That's kind of your common characteristic between all pomes is there's this common core. Think of, I have a balloon, okay? And I'm going to take the balloon and I'm going to put a paper towel right through the middle. That would be kind of the core piece, the hard piece, okay? These all grow on trees, and the seeds are very small and they will collect into that actual center core. And the apple, I think, was passed around earlier. So now we have grapes. Now grapes kind of have, they have a few things in common with something we talked about earlier with the berries. Now the grapes, you can eat the skin. Again, these are going to be juicy and firm as well with their flesh. And the color and flavor is mostly found in the skin on these guys, okay? Now another really easy characteristic characteristics to see them is they grow in clusters. And does anyone know what these grow on from your past experience? Vines. Thank you, Margaret. Yep. These grow on vines. And like with the citrus, they are creating these without seeds, but if you are in kind of a few decades ago, they did have seeds, and a lot of people like to spit them out. They were fairly large, probably I would say bigger than the size of a grain of rice, and so I wouldn't really want to eat too many of those. Have the option. Seedless are always better, right? And here are grapes.
That's like kids.
All right. So the last two categories you see on your paper are tropical and are exotic, and these two are I kind of consider almost the junk drawer of the fruit categories. Sorry for the mess back there. The tropical fruits, they're going to be very brightly colored. When you think of paradise, these are probably the fruits you're going to associate with paradise, are these tropical fruits. The flesh is almost always going to be firm and plump, and they're going to be produced by trees native to the tropic areas. A really good characteristic about these is they all share a frost intolerance. So these guys aren't going to be living through your winter. If it gets too cold, let's say in Florida, they're going to be losing all of their crop, at least with the tropical fruits. So you can have something, like if you look at this card, look at all the different shapes, different sizes of fruit. We even have citrus in here, so this is almost like a junk drawer, a little bit of everything kind of fit in here. And I have a banana. And then our last category is we have exotic. Oh, thank you. I can take that back to you if you're all set. Our last category we have is exotic. And this is, again, another junk drawer one. The other kind of characteristic of this is think from Africa, from Asia. Exotic, what do we associate typically with exotic? Things from faraway lands. So these fruits aren't going to be as common as your other fruits, maybe your tropical fruits, because we go in more of a tropical area, or we live there. The skin, again, is going to be very brightly colored. The flesh typically is semi-soft. They're going to be slightly heavy for their size. And like I was saying again, this subgroup can be pretty broad, but think faraway lands whenever I think of exotic fruits. Our fruits from faraway lands. Yes? This one right here? This is a dragon fruit.
I have a question.
Yes?
Can exotic fruits be grown here or no?
They can, it's just going to take a lot more adapting from a farmer's standpoint because, like I said, these are from faraway lands. So you're probably going to have to utilize greenhouses and different fertilizers to replicate these things. But these fruits are more found naturally, natively in those other ones.
Right. Thanks, Chef Mike.
So, now that you all have been briefed, are you ready for your mission? You all feel prepared? Woo! Yeah, I already know. Enthusiasm! Help me to do that. Alright, so what we're going to do now is you guys are going to break into groups of 4. Okay, so I kind of see, it's kind of already done it. The back table can kind of split into 2. Oh, is mine by yourself? Alright, well, can everyone split into groups of 3? Or 4? 4 groups, please. So we'll do this group right here, this group, and this group is big, so I'm going to have them do 2. So you 3, and then we'll do you 2, alright? Is that okay? Yeah. Cool. And so do you remember you all were working for, here, 1 second please. We were all working for Fresh Foods Inc. And you all were briefed on the different characteristics of fruits. Well, we had some explorers that were working for us, and they went out and they searched the globe for the next best fruit. And they actually found 4 new species, okay? But there's a little thing that's weird about these. It's like we've never seen anything about them. It's almost like 2 categories of fruit merged and made like a hybrid. So what your job is using the characteristics that you all just wrote down, you're going to figure out which fruit of yours, what categories it would fit into. And they've all got split into 2, so you're going to find 2 categories. Okay, so this is 2, and they're all different, alright? If you need to stand up and look at any of the samples I've given, you can do that as well, alright? You guys have the clingy fruit. We have the foreign fruit. So okay, you guys will do them both. Perfect. We have the bird of paradise fruit. And then in the back, you guys are going to get the red rubies. Okay? Excellent. So feel free to work amongst yourselves. I'm going to be around. If you have any questions, please ask me, okay? So, and then the, not scavenger, but the adventurer that found these fruits have given you all notes, so feel free to access the notes as well, okay?
Should I just put my open there?
Do you have any questions? Well, we're going to discuss them in a little bit. Are you all set? You got it? All right.
Do you agree? Mike is so agree. Yeah,
So why do you think that's great? Okay, so that's one thing. But look at the other characteristics. Like, yeah, it does grow in a vine, but that's only one characteristic of a grape. There something else that has...
That does not look like a heart.
Look in the information. I have a feeling that's going to be able to help you. Let's see, is there anything else? Now it shines, the color of it shines through the snow. So does that mean that it has a frost tolerance or frost intolerance?
It's 2 groups, yeah.
The location is a key one for this one, so look at the location, that'll help you out, okay? Is there anything I can help you with? You think it's a palm and a tropical, why do you think that?
That was our major giveaway.
Okay. Yep. That sounds good. Excellent. You guys are going to explain your observation. Okay? So what do you think? What do you think it is?
We think it's a berry drupe.
A berry drupe. Why do you say it's a berry drupe?
Well, it's got the classification of a hard, inedible central stone,
Okay.
like seed, and
Okay.
it's got the characteristic of a outer berry with the individualistic, firm, pulpy flesh.
And it seems like the adventurer gave you guys a drawing of what it was growing on. Do you think that that helped you at all?
The shrub bush
Yeah?
definitely would have indicated that it could be potentially part of the berry.
Oh, okay, perfect. Cool. So I'll give my compliments to that adventurer.
Certainly,
Definitely helped
he
you
was
all
a
out.
great adventurer.
Good, 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 good.
Best adventurer.
So.
Did you get it figuring out what it was? The hint? Just now, I remember there was a location. Did you find out where it was located from? China. Alright. Why do you think it would be China? From faraway land. Yeah. Alright. No, that's just chocolate. That's just like. Good observation. Alright, so everyone seemed like they're ready. You guys did a great job. Thank you so much for your hard work for Fresh Foods Inc. I think we're going to be able to definitely start selling these and start harvesting them. I want you all to give a brief kind of presentation to the rest of the group so that way they can learn a little bit about these new species of fruit that you've learned about. This group can start first.
We had the clingy fruit, which we decided was a citrus grape because it had like the segmented inside and it grew on a vine. It was somewhat edible skin.
And you're correct. Good job.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, good job. It's very supportive class today. I like it.
This is the new foreign fruit, which is an exotic melon from northern China. It's very bright. The colors shine through the snow, so they use those as mile markers. And it has seeds in the center. So this makes it a melon. And since it's from a faraway land, it's exotic.
Alright! So that's a tough one. Again, the exotics are very, very broad, so it's hard to find too many key characteristics, but the hint there was that it was from northern China. Good job. Alright. Next group, please.
Guys, this is the bird of paradise fruit. It's from Cuba, and they say that the locals literally leap for joy when they see one, so they try and grab for it. But what really gave it away... but what gave it away was part of the tropical group, and the toughened full of seeds, a few seeds, which is part of the palms group. So we thought it was part of the tropical and palms group.
Yay!
And you're correct. Woo! All right, and the group in the back, please.
All right, so we have the red rubies. So what gave it away that it was a drupe berry was that it's got the classification of a drupe with the firm, inedible inner seed, and it also grows on a shrub or bush just like a berry.
Perfect. Yeah, good job, guys. Wow, you guys are doing great access to this company. I'm very excited. So far, are there any questions with what we've covered at all? Nope, not yet. All right, so I was talking a little bit about using this information to kind of better this industry. And what I was talking a little bit about hybrids. Has anyone heard about hybrid fruits or anything like that? Oh, in the back, you guys know. So can you tell the class a little bit about what you know about hybrids?
Well, there's quite a few that have been going around lately. Like a lot of them have to deal with drupe fruits, specifically that I know about, like pluots or which is more of a plum than it is a nectarine, I believe. And then there's also ones that are like vice versa, more nectarine than there's plum.
Yep.
They've been doing that quite often.
Yeah, Jason.
There's also ones that are like grapes and palms, like the grapple, which is a mixture between a grape and an apple.
That sounds good. That sounds good. Has anyone ever seen anything, now that you kind of know a little bit about what the hybrids are, have you seen have you seen any of those before? Yeah, what have you seen before?
My mom has a lot of the exotic fruits.
Yeah? And are any of those hybrids by any chance? Do you know?
No.
No. What kind of exotic fruits have you seen? Have you seen, anyone, like, did you know when we did the exotic, can I see your picture again? Do you know what maybe the melon mixed with from the exotic standpoint to make this one? Have you seen this?
Maybe it's mixed with the dragon fruit.
Dragon fruit? That's cool, because dragon fruits are very pink like that. I think the inspiration was the rambutan? Rambutan? Yes, rambutan. Cool. Thank you very much. Yeah, did you have another comment?
The Buddha's hand could be one because it's an exotic, also citrus.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. And these all were kind of hybrids, what we were talking about. And I think eventually what is going to end up happening with this industry is chefs might even have the opportunity to make up their own inventions, make up their own species of fruit that are better their menu, better their kitchen. So that's kind of a cool piece that I thought was really interesting. So I want you guys to kind of look at the last part of this lesson. And what you're going to do is, again, you all have hired and done a great job so far with fresh foods. You have one more assignment. And this is kind of to use your creativity. All right? If you guys actually just pass those down, please. Pass these down. And feel free to read through. This assignment is due tomorrow, just so you guys know. And what you're going to do is you're going to actually create your own hybrid fruit. This is called Frankenfruits. And so you have to take at least 2 categories or more and combine the 2. But I don't just want you to kind of throw them all in the blender and mix them together. I want a reasoning behind it. So let's say you really like peaches, and you hate the stone. So maybe we can mix it with a berry which has more edible seeds, and the seed would shrink. Or maybe you really like the flavor that a citrus peel brings to the table, and you want to add it to an apple. So we can combine these. Really take the biological restrictions out, throw them out of the park, and just do whatever you want to, as long as there's a reasoning behind this. How it's going to better our industry. Why do you want to change it that way? So why don't, since we have a little bit of time left in class, if you all want to start working on it now, what you're going to do is actually draw a picture of it, and then on the second page, you're going to give me an explanation of why you did that. And I've attached an article for you all to check out, and it's really just the latest news on hybrids, what's going on with some of those things. Like on the article, it talks about a Meyer lemon. Anyone know that that was a hybrid fruit? I know Meyer lemon. It's a mix actually between a lemon and an orange. And so that's how you get that kind of sweeter taste out of a Meyer lemon than just regular lemon. Grapefruit, another hybrid. That's a really common that I didn't know was. So why don't you guys go ahead and get started your homework so you don't have so much to do at home. And I'll come around. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know, okay? And you can get any inspiration from the fruit again. If you want to get up and look at the fruit that I've given you, feel free, all right? Yes. Yeah. I think it actually says sweet. Yeah, I know. I was really surprised.
He wanted us to
Like already.
some of it.
Yeah.
could we be wrong for evaluating?
Yeah, well, I just
I know.
No, I know.
Like I'm gonna double check mine.
It happens a lot with apples actually because with apples, the seeds of an apple aren't the seeds for that tree. Because apple trees are really, really good at mixing with the other trees around it. So if you have like a Granny Smith farm, and that's all you have Granny Smith farm. If a new farm comes in next door that sells Red Delicious, the bees cross-pollinize, you'll have a mix of the two. And it's funny because the fruit that's created from the pollen will look like the Granny Smith, but the seeds, if you like were to take that Granny Smith seed and plant those seeds, they would be the mix. So like, it happens naturally and it happens scientifically. So like the hybrids are really cool. And I have a feeling that eventually you're probably gonna be able to like point in the machine and just pick, yeah, pick whatever you want. So that's kind of what I was hoping for you guys to do now, is if you want to come up with something creative, something different. Yeah, definitely. And I'll try and find out that grapefruit for you. I'm not sure where I found it. So what were you thinking of using? Not yet? You're still thinking? Okay. I know you said you don't like to work too much, like when you're in the classroom, like when you're by yourself. Yeah, you get distracted. So I'm sorry. If you want, I can put like a dome of silence over you, and that'll silence everything. Yes. I know you're creative. So what are you thinking? I know it's gonna be crazy.
I made a berry steam.
Oh, a berry steam. So is it like a mango steam and a berry?
Yeah.
Okay. And now, do you just like those flavors? Is that what you want to? Oh, that's it. Yeah. Okay, cool. Now, do mango steams? Is that a seed or what is that?
The white flesh inside.
Okay.
And the outside is strawberry.
Oh, so it's like no seeds, just flesh, just fruit. It gets down to business real quick, right? Now, what is? I never had a mango steam before. So what is a mango?